Welcome to this new episode of the Quick Coaster series. In this series I'm building a new coaster type every episode and sometimes I'm decorating it a little. In today's episode I'm making a mine train coaster. For a change I try to make it family friendly, so everyone can enjoy it and not just the thrill seekers. Because most of the time I'm building a pretty thrilling roller coaster, and this time I decided not to. Later in this episode I'll be adding the decoration, which kinda confirms it's family friendly. As you just saw, I just built the first drop. It didn't go as planned, got a little messy with the banking offset, but I got it in the end. And I added quite a bit of helixes, just two actually, which I find quite typical for this type of coaster, as there isn't really like a real life manufacturer counterpart to this exact type of coaster. You can still see them quite a bit in parks like Disney, mainly Disney actually. But in Disney you're most of the time having a western themed area around your coaster, your mine train coaster. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go more for the Slinky Dog Dash kind of style, which is the Toy Story coaster in Disney Hollywood Studios. I really like the theming. It's kind of the same as I'm gonna be building, but with all of the toys around and you're feeling a little bit smaller. And that's of course what I'm going for. I'm also having a name for the coaster, which corresponds with all of the theming and the entire ride, which is quite cool actually. As you just saw, I built this second lift hill. It has two lift hills, as you just saw, of course. And here's the second helix. I'm trying to let the tracks go over each other a bit back, just to make the ride a bit more immersive with each other, and I can make a cool piece of theming there. This bit I didn't really agree with myself with what to do there, but eventually I just went for a little airtime hill out of the helix you just saw there. And then I built a unloading station, which I didn't plan beforehand, so I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm just connecting the two stations to each other. In this bit there won't be any riders on the train, because it just goes from the exit station to the entrance station. As you can see right here, I'm building one of the scenery pieces. This is a castle made out of blocks, and I just used the art shapes for it because, well, they are already looking like blocks and then all different shapes, and there are basically no better alternatives for this type of decoration that I want to make. So this castle thing, you'll be passing over it and under it, as you can see right here, and as I explained a couple minutes ago that I wanted the track to interact with each other. That's right there. So you'll be riding through and over the decoration yourself when you enter the ride. This is one of the many decorations I'll be adding. I've not recorded everything because then the video will be an hour long. So yeah, here I'm just building a little tower, and I've built it like Kid has made it, so that it seems more real and not all symmetrical, which makes it look even cooler, I think. So as you can see, I'm making some kind of tower, and yeah, well, just basic stuff actually. Some blocks. I try to make the colors like the colors you see in those block sets. That's just to give it the young feel and the look as how I wanted it to. Later in the video you'll be getting a off-ride POV, mostly of like the entire area, and a on-ride, which I think is pretty cool. I did decorate it with lights, but the on-ride you don't see it that well, so I just kept it with on-ride in the daylight. As you can see, I also hit a support with the blocks and I made a sort of little bridge, which I think looks pretty well fitting. And another block right there, other color of course, some kind of weird block on there as well. I placed the train there to just measure if it would fit underneath there, and it would. So right now I'm making the tiles for a checkerboard. I didn't go for a chessboard because that would be too much detail and would take me too long to make. So I just went with a checkerboard, which, well, it's quite big. It's bigger than a normal chessboard, so less space to fill, I guess. And if you liked the video so far, don't forget to subscribe and let me know which kind of coaster you want to see built next, or in future episode. Let me know, and leave a subscribe if you want to. It would be appreciated. I just make the videos for fun, so every little bit of support would be greatly appreciated. As you can see, just some borders going in. It's like every regular board, and I found the coastal supports most fitting in these plates. Put them on top of each other and it looked quite good. And then I had some struggles with placing the placing it in the right order, because I've never really played this game before. So I had to cut a little bit out. But I got it working eventually. I think it looks pretty cool. Then I will be moving on to the next decoration, right here. And this is going to be a car themed decoration. Like a little car going down the road with just some kind of little race track for a little kid. And I guess it turned out pretty well. I had to think quite a bit about how to make it. I first, well, had some difficulties with the pad. I want some terrain under it, but eventually I decided not to anymore. I'll be removing that in a bit. And I've made a technique to drag the car across, which also was quite hard to make because I never really do that. So it's first time for everything, I guess. I'm just gonna use the buggy as the car on this because, yeah, I'm not really bothered to make a full car, and the buggy just does the job. There we go, that's the buggy. Why not? Yeah, and I guess it's going in. It was floating quite a bit. I'm changing it quite a bit. I don't know if I've left everything in the video, but it was quite a bit of trial and error. And yeah, as you can see, I'm just still struggling with it, with the pitch of every individual thing. I should have just made the track one big piece on a certain degree going down. I didn't. I've actually let the trigger sequence making section in the video. Let me know if you like that, because I don't know if anyone cares. But yeah, I just placed the trigger next to there, so the train is from a bit more of the back row and center row. It's really visible that the car goes. In the POV, you won't really see that because you're lower on the track and you won't be seeing over the track for the car. As you can see, I'm just removing some. I've removed some ground there. I didn't like it. I did line up this wall with the new grid rotation tool, which I love because you don't want to know how many times I've tried to rotate the grid and it just doesn't work, and I know it doesn't, but I still try, and just annoying. Well, now it works. Some back walls. Had to, of course, edit the part for just the road to blend it all in. And I added some music speakers. I did this between recordings with a kind of startup noise for the car and some horns. You can't really hear the startup noise because the coaster is quite loud, but you can hear the horns. And I'm making a finish flag right now with the Planet Coaster logo in the center. I thought it was quite fitting. didn't actually take me that long to come up with a design for the finished flag. It's just pretty standard, so I don't really care. So I found this, well, this sign the most fitting, because it's kind of like a, well, what is it, like a flag? It looks like a flag, but the text on it wouldn't go as I wanted, wouldn't go as big as I wanted, so I had to edit the text myself with the text column thing. And I added some chains because otherwise it would be floating, would be weird. So I just added them. Pretty basic stuff. Of course I scaled them because it would be too small otherwise. And right now I'm adding flames to make it look like Hot Wheels a little bit. And it just adds the a boy look to it, if that's even a word. Some more flags right there. I put them on more spaces of the track. Looks quite cool. And that's just the finished product, I think. Some more flames on the side, but that's really it. And then I'll be moving on to the next. Yes, there we go, to the next piece. I built this ship off camera. I thought I was gonna have some difficulties with it, but I actually didn't. So I'm just placing it in right now. Actually some special effects as well. You won't really see them from the right, but it will still be fun if you pay attention to it. I went for the sorcery pack, well, fiery smoke effect at the back to make it come alive even more. And I went for some glitters and not for the fireworks. That was a little bit too extreme for me. I thought it would be funny, but yeah, no. Some glitters are fun, and I think a little flamethrower, yeah, at the back. Of course I made that blue as well. Looking quite realistic. And as I said before, I've based this coaster quite a bit on the Slinky Dog Dash coaster. And you'll be seeing I'll be making some rings to, well, I can't install it, but not much. On the chain lift I'll be making some rings, light rings. You don't really see them during the day, but they're still fun during the night, and they just add a little bit more, well, depth to the entire attraction, I guess. So I've made one, and I'm just placing it in. I almost forgot about making supports for this thing. That would be weird, of course, so I made them as well. And I choose for red. And then I also thought, they're too skinny. So I went ahead and copied the entire thing over. You'll see that in a bit. There we go, I copied the entire thing over and put two of them in each other. And went ahead and changed the color. So it kind of goes from red to orange. I've let it be with the other one as well. Kind of inspired by Hot Wheels again. And well, that's it for the rings. I'll just show it in the, I think in the night, yeah, really quickly. And I'm going to edit the station departs, and after that I think I'm done then. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be snapping and adding quite a bit of decoration at the side, trees, foliage, and parting extras. I made those vents, by the way, with like a counter in them, so you as guests could enjoy some food there, kind of in the scenery, because it's next to the other car. It worked quite well. Decorated it to Chief Beef. I kept it green. I could better change the colors back, but sure. The Chief Beef is more blue. Okay. So these are the last bits of the build. Editing the part a bit. Rounding it, I don't like the sharp edges everywhere, so just the round edges. Don't worry, the pads won't be floating there. They are for now, but when I snap, they're not anymore. And so if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And after I've snapped my fingers, the entire area will come alive, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the POV and everything else.